see Frank push himself into workouts and to do things that he didn't think he could do, and to realize he could do them, and then to progress even further over the years has been awesome. Hey, I'm Carlo Cialati and I'm the owner of CrossFit AIO.
But he wants to do it. That's the most important thing about Frank. He's okay to struggle and try to move forward with it. Hi, my name is unwavering. I'm a strength coach and a personal trainer. I've been training Frank for 3 years.
Hi, I'm Frank DiFrancesco. I'm an actor. And I have been doing CrossFit for 3 years.
AIO is a gym where we like to say we specialize in beginners, but because over the years a lot of our beginners have now become advanced, we're really a place for everybody. And as the name suggests, it is kind of an all-in-one type of gym. So we're going to work lots of different types of fitness. We're going to work on high-end strength, we're going to work on cardio, we're going to work on everything in between.
I've always been active. The only thing I haven't done before was CrossFit. And the way I found all-in-one CrossFit gym was simply walking by it on my nightly walks. And every time I did, it felt like something was pulling me in, like the universe was saying, hey, look at this gym, look at it. Doesn't matter if you've done CrossFit before, come to this gym. And that's when I decided to pull the trigger and reach out to all-in-one.
And during our intro sessions, we pretty much interview the potential member to find out where they're at now, what their goals are, what they're looking for, and so forth.
I remember meeting Carlo for the first time in that fitness review, and he was looking at my fitness level and what goals I wanted to achieve. As well, he was also giving me a tour of the gym itself.
As we were going through the process, I could see why he wanted to get stronger, why he wanted to get fitter, and I thought to myself, he has no idea what he's in for. He's going to get far more than that. He's going to get more fit than he ever thought he had, and he's going to challenge himself in ways that he never thought he could.
And while on tour, there was many things that caught my eye, but the biggest thing was the tires that you could potentially flip. That really sold it on me. And right then and there, I knew I had to join all-in-one.
We challenge people in ways that most gyms don't. We get them to push themselves to their limits and to find out what they can't do, and then progress them to the point to where they can now do those things, where they have new limits, and push them even further. So it was pretty exciting interviewing Frank, knowing what was coming up for him and knowing that he didn't really know what that was.
To be quite honest with you, I didn't actually know what CrossFit truly was. I thought like, okay, is it parkour? Is it strength training? Like, what is CrossFit? Carlo explained to me what CrossFit was, what it could be, what it could help you achieve. And based off of that, I went, you know what? It's a little mixture of everything, which I like. It keeps me on my toes. I can do strength, I can do cardio, I can do endurance, I can do agility. And I knew right away, yeah, throw me into the deep end. Let's go.
I started working with Frank like 3 years ago. It was like early summer, late spring. It was fun days, actually, I have to say. Training Frank is a different story because the way he works, how it's working is always odd hours. He comes, sometimes lack of sleep, sometimes lack of nutrition, sometimes he's already tired from the workouts that we did. It's a challenge, but Frank is always trying to do whatever he can do best. He will try it, and we always try to find a way to make the best for him for that day.
So the CrossFit Open technically is the first level of qualifying for the CrossFit Games, which is the World Championships of CrossFit. Now, there's usually about 300 to 400,000 people worldwide who participate in it, making it the largest participatory sporting event in the world.
This is my second time doing the CrossFit Open. I remember the first time I did it, my trainer, Memdu, did not believe I could make it as far as I did.
He did. We didn't actually train specifically for the Open, especially with the Olympic lifts and all that stuff. And there was I guess it was the first or the second workout. I wasn't expecting to get over a certain level, which he has to do like a Olympic lift. I didn't even try to teach him that because I wasn't expecting to finish the first part. And the next day I wasn't there, and the next day I learned he actually finished the part that I was expecting not to finish, and he passed the Olympic lifting part. He actually did pretty good. And people like, oh, he did that. So I was like, no, he didn't. I didn't teach him that. But he was just always amazes me with the stuff that he does when it comes to the competition. But he always likes to work. It's a good thing that I work with him. I like him so much.
I decided to sign up again simply because, I like the competition. I like the excitement of it. It's a show. It's in the sense it's a show, and whoever's watching is the audience. So I always contribute that competition to, I'm on stage, I'm performing. Nothing can go wrong if I know what I'm doing.
It's a test of fitness. It's a test to see where we are in that moment of the year with how we move, how strong we are, how our cardio is, and so forth. And then what we do is, at the end of that Open, we leave with a checklist of things that we need to work on. And for the rest of that year, for the next year, we're going to work on them and try to get them as better as we can. When the following year comes up, again, we test ourselves again to see how much better we've gotten. And we leave with a new checklist of things that we're trying to achieve. So really what it is, it's a way of testing ourselves to make sure that we're progressing. And then if we find that we're not progressing in something, then we know we have to change our methods so that we become better at it.
When I signed up for my second Open, I always knew I was going to do a documentary based on my journey of the Open. Little did I know that would change, and it would involve the community of All-in-One.
So I met Frank actually in the week one as we were getting ready to do the week one workout. And I know for Frank, maybe things didn't go as he had hoped in week one, but I don't know if he remembers this, but he was really motivated. My name's David Sutton. I'm a men's weight loss and transformation coach, and the team I was on was the Cherry Cheetahs.
Because I knew that if there's anyone to have proper big personality and bring the community together, that would be Frank. So it was really exciting for me to have him on my team and make sure I leverage some of his skills as an actor to be able to showcase that personality and really give more flavor to the Cherry Cheetah team. My name is Eric. I work in marketing strategy, and I was the captain of the Cherry Cheetahs during the AIO Open.
We're a community, and it's almost beyond that. When you become a member of All-in-One, you become a member of a group of people who are here to push each other to become the best versions of each other that we could possibly be. And that, I think, is the coolest aspect of All-in-One.
I really love the AIO community. From the minute you join up, Shelly and Carlos really treat you as if you're part of the family.
We are actually a friendly gym. We like to talk with each other. We like to joke with each other, but we always push. We're a tough gym. We're friendly, but we were tough. So whatever you do here, somebody will come to you and say tap your back and say good, but you could do better. So which is a good thing in CrossFit AIO that we have with us.
I think the AIO community is one of the best ones around in terms of health and fitness. It's truly a group of really supportive people. And you can see that in multiple ways. For example, I redid a workout and I was about to beat someone else's score, and that person was actually judging me, and they cheered me on to do my best possible. So even though it could have been potential that I beat their score, they still cheered me on to do the best possible. Overall, the community though, and this is something that you see every single day, truly stands out just by the supportive nature and the encouragement to do hard things every day.
My first few workouts, the other members were so helpful in getting me used to what we were doing, getting me used to the movements, telling me where things were. they're so supportive. Every workout, everybody is supporting each other and cheering each other on and making sure we make it through the workouts. I've made some incredible friends in the first 5 months of working out here.
And this was the first time being at All in One where I actually got to see the community firsthand. Simply because I don't do the classes, I don't go to any of the events because I'm working during all that stuff. So it was kind of interesting to see the community and be more open to knowing who and what's in the community.
So for this year's Open, AIO did something a little bit different. Now, we've done some intramural versions of the Open before, and where basically we take everyone who's doing the Open in the gym and we put them into teams, and those teams compete against each other in various challenges and so forth. But this year we did something even more different than that. We made members team captains, and they drafted their teams, and they were able to go and pursue the challenges however which way they saw fit, which made it completely different from anything we've experienced in the past. Our members, we've realized, are far more crazier than any of our coaches have ever been, and they took things to levels that we could never imagine, making it by far the best Open that we've ever run. There was things that were done in here that we never thought would ever happen before, and it was a very, very cool experience, and I thought it helped to bring our community together in a way that, again, we never thought possible. So it was pretty cool this year.
I was honored to be picked as one of the captains for the team. So I was captain of the Cherry Cheetahs. And for me, it was a really good experience to just be able to really gather up some people and sort of have everyone go towards a common goal. We started off by drafting folks. So I was sort of looking around to see, who would be engaged, who would have, who would like to actually participate in the challenges beyond just like the fitness part of the Open. And then so I selected a team based on that. And then throughout the whole time, honestly, my team made it very easy because everyone was very engaged and supportive, and that sort of goes on to speak about the whole AIO community altogether. But specifically for my team, it was just really fun to, sort of come up with new ideas, encourage them, and sort of play like a leadership role, something which I enjoy doing on a consistent basis when it comes to, like, for example, mentoring others or providing advice. It's something that I was able to do more of this time around.
I love the concept of the teams. I love, again, the competition. And even though it's a super friendly competition, but it was fun just, cheering on your own teammates and having people you could rely on throughout the workout to push you. And again, I love trying to win something. So for me, even though we didn't win, it was a great experience, and I loved the team aspect.
So the first time I did it, a lot of people thought I couldn't do as well as I did, simply because it was my first time ever going into a CrossFit competition, and I had little knowledge of what CrossFit was, but I managed to do some moves, some workouts that I wasn't trained for really that first year. So the second time around, I knew I had everything. I knew this year would be the year that I take it up a notch and I will be a real threat to that. Yeah. I remember the night before I was working, and I was hyped about it. The next day I'm gonna go in on the Saturday and really kill this first workout in the Open, and I was overconfident. I was really, really confident that I'll do really well.
CrossFit Games Open Workout 24.1 is a twist on the classic 21, 15, and 9 rep scheme, featuring dumbbell snatches, and lateral burpees over the dumbbell.
I wanted to do this first workout in under 10 minutes. I was confident. I was really confident. When you watch back, I hold my finger up like I'm Roman Reigns giving the salute there. I was really confident I was going to finish in 10 minutes. I told the rest of the Cherry Cheetahs that, hey, this is my goal. And while doing the workout, you know, I noticed that I was sort of gassed out, and that was kind of affecting me. And then when I saw it past the 10-minute mark, I wasn't going to make my goal. I was kind of a little defeated, not just for myself, but I felt like I let my team down. Because, you know, based on certain rankings, we also score points for our teams, and I felt like I let them down. That first day, I was so defeated by the end of it that I didn't want to be seen, so I just rushed home.
I set my goal to beating it in 10 minutes. I didn't do that. Then, while I was doing it, I at least wanted to complete it before the 15 minutes. And I didn't get that. I didn't pass this first week.
But he was really motivated, and Frank and I were standing beside each other as I was getting ready to go, and he was telling me about his goals. And to be honest, I actually hadn't even thought of a goal for the workout. I just wanted to do the best I could, but after listening to Frank talk about his goals, I set my goal that I really wanted to at least finish under 15 minutes, and which I did. So I finished it around 13 minutes, which was great. And having Frank there to motivate me in that first one, and he was also motivating in every challenge. He was going around talking to everyone and making sure we were all motivated and pushing ourselves. So it was really great.
That, you know, they have your back, like they show you the pros as opposed to the cons of everything. And everyone was saying like, hey, you came and you did it, and that's great, regardless if you met your goals or not. You still did it. And I had fun. I was looking back at the tapes, the video that I took yesterday, and a couple of the pros that I got from it was, you know, after the 15 minutes was up, I wasn't as winded as I thought I would have been. I was pretty good. Like after those 15 minutes, I could have kept going, thinking about it. Like I wasn't too winded to that point. And the other thing that I looked at was, man, my arms look great. They looked fantastic in the video. So there's a couple of pros to take away from there. Right now, this is the day after my workout for the Open, and right now I'm heading to it's called Action on Film class. It's pretty much learning how to do a fight scene on film. My lower back kind of hurts. I'm going to the Action on Film class where I'm pretty sure I'm going to take a couple of bumps, but that's what I do.
Rolling. Action.
But as Rocky would say, doesn't matter how hard you hit, but how hard you get back up. At least something along those lines.
So that first workout that he redid is arguably the most terrible workout that has ever been in the Open in terms of getting someone uncomfortable, getting someone to that place where it's just how much pain can you take. So he not only did it once, but he did it twice. And the second time he beat his score. So he went into that second workout knowing how hard he was going to have to push, and he did it. A very difficult thing to do, and something that just shows the development of his character and the development of the strength of his character. So I think that says a lot about Frank.
CrossFit Games Open Workout 24.2 is as many repetitions as possible in 20 minutes of 300-meter row, 10 deadlifts, 50 double unders. Your score is the total number of repetitions completed in the 20 minutes.
I remember looking at my phone in my WhatsApp. I'm like, who the hell are the cherry cheetahs? What's this? And I was going through and I'm like, oh, I'm placed on the team. It was like, a team? All right, how's this gonna work out?
For me, I actually enjoyed all the team challenges because Cherry Cheetahs really did really well in all of them. However, probably the one I enjoyed the most would be the first challenge, which was the one where we had to decorate the gym in our team colors. I think it was a brilliant idea to put that as the first challenge because that way it sort of set up the gym for the whole 3 weeks, but also it just allowed to sort of have a different feel to the gym. Like our team did the whole back wall as opposed to being in white font all in one. It was now in a cheetah font, for example. There was balloons everywhere, the entire entryway was covered. So it was really fun to sort of add this like level of personality to our gym. And it was something that, you know, took the Open to another level as opposed to like when we didn't have any teams. When the challenge came up for us to come up with a mascot, you know, the first thing they said is like anyone on your team could be a mascot. So for our team, it was an absolute no-brainer that it had to be Frank. So Frank became our Cheetah King, and he absolutely knocked it out of the park. And I think the best part was that, you know, we came up with some ideas of the overall idea of like a king, but then he kept bringing in props, and he would tell us a few props that he brought in, but then he'd bring in even more props on the day of. So I think that was really awesome. He also had a speech prepared. The teams got lucky that he didn't get to say that speech, but we'll save it for next year.
Part of the challenge was a strut walk, where the mascots were gonna walk out, we were gonna introduce the characters, and we had the idea to make it like a wrestling entrance. So there was gonna be a red carpet rolled out for me, there was gonna be Mark Merrill's WWE Wildman theme playing as I walked out like the king that I was, and I even prepared a promo that I was gonna cut on all the other teams as I was coming out. However, one of the classes went a little too long. We were pressed for time. So the organizers kind of cut that part of the challenge out for that day. And I will say to the other teams, you're lucky that they did, because the Cheetah King would have laid the smackdown on all of you.
Frank as the Cheetah King was amazing. He really just took on that role, and when he was walking in the room dressed up as the Cheetah King, he embodied the Cheetah King. He was feeling it. Everybody felt that he was the Cheetah King. So it was really awesome watching him get into character and being the mascot for the cheetahs.
The second week of the Open was better in my opinion, at least for me. Doing the first week over again kind of helped build my confidence, knowing that, hey, I can achieve such things. So that really helped with the second week. The second week I was having more fun with the event as opposed to the first week. I wasn't as overconfident like I was the first week, but the second week I managed to succeed at what I wanted to do, and I achieved some great stuff that second week.
CrossFit Games Open Workout 24.3 begins with 5 rounds for time of 10 thrusters, 10 chest to bar pull-ups. Athletes will then rest a minimum of 1 minute. After the 1 minute rest, 24.3 concludes with 5 rounds of thrusters at a heavier weight, and bar muscle-ups. The entire workout is for time. If you complete all of the repetitions under the 15-minute time cap, your score will be the total time taken to complete the workout.
The final week of the Open is upon us, and I knew the Friday night before the Saturday competition, I had to work until 12 that night. And I knew, okay, if I'm done working, head home, get a good night's rest, and be as best as I can be for the competition. However, the wrench that was thrown my way that I did not account for was my agent giving me a rush audition that I had to do, which, you know, not a big deal, not a big deal. It was for a commercial. But then when I read what it was, they wanted me to actually eat chips in the audition, in the self-tape. And I had to do about 5 takes of those.
Take 4, huh? Fuck!
I kind of pestered the organizers into, since they cut my mascot speech, I kind of pestered them into having a final speech for that day. And I said, I'll do it. And what it was simply me taking the Cheetah King promo, and instead of smack talking teams, I turned it into, you know, celebrating all the teams, celebrating that even though we're individually fighting against each other in teams, individually, whatever it is, we're still all working towards the same thing. And I wanted it to be really inspirational and really fun to bring the community together.
Frank's speech really kind of encapsulated the spirit and the community that is AIO. You know, he was there to hype everyone up, but at the same time, he was reminding us about the amazing people that are here, the community, the sense of friendships, everything that kind of we built over the Open. So I thought the speech was perfect because not only did it hype us up, but it also reminded us why we joined AIO in the first place and why we're here and why we're competing so hard.
Frank kept mentioning something about a hype up speech. I thought he was just being funny and trying to get Thiago to do a hype up speech because he was the one that took his chance away the first time around, so it was a little bit of a payback. But actually, the day of, I realized it was actually Frank who wanted to do the speech himself. So I was really excited when that happened. And then I had to run out from a different room to make sure I got the beginning of the speech. And then Frank did such an amazing job. You know, even though there was 4 teams and we're all competing against each other as a friendly competition, Frank did such an amazing job to really make sure to bring all the teams together and all the effort of the Open together and the whole community together and really make it like a nice inclusive speech for everyone and also just give everyone a whole level of energy. I think that I've never heard the gym be as loud as it was on that last day than I did every other time. So Frank really set the tone for the day and it was much appreciated.
I always felt like the black sheep at All in One, simply because I don't do the classes. Not too many people know me. There is, I would say, a certain stigma, taboo when you are an actor. So there was a lot of things sort of against me in that sense, but I went up there, I showed them why I'm the best at what I do. And at the end, I got everyone to come together, put their hands in the center, and we all came together as a community.
Ready, 1, 2, 3,
For me, I took away that I can do a lot more than I realized. You know, we do these classes and we push ourselves, but when you're really competing, it was amazing at the things that I was able to accomplish that I honestly never thought I could accomplish.
I think the biggest thing is actually the importance of community. You know, there was 40 plus of us that did this throughout the 3 weeks. And I think just having each other, you know, cheer each other on, pick each other up when we're down, you know, encourage to like go above what we expected that we could do. And I think the Open is a great time for that. You know, it's like, it's an area where like you think you might be able to do something, but then someone will say, hey, why don't you try a heavier weight? Why don't you try a more difficult skill? So it's all because of the community that comes together and pushes you to do something more.
Frank improved a lot. I have to say that. The first Open he did, he always, let me put it this way, he always amazes me with these competitions. I wasn't expecting to do some stuff last year. He went over and did beyond what I think he can do. This year, he was more prepared, and I think he still have room to improve himself. He just lots of room to improve, but he pushed himself way more than he think he can push this Open. I think he just, if you ask me, he improved himself like 100% from last year.
This year, though, he went into it knowing what to expect. He had the movements far down packed, so he was able to push himself from an effort standpoint way further because the movements themselves weren't limiting him as much. So we got to see Frank go to way darker levels than what he did in his first Open. And again, with that, it's very cool to see someone push themselves to that level, push themselves to that dark place that you don't really want to go to, but you know you can. So that was very cool to see. And I'd say that's probably his biggest progression, which to me is everything in the Open. You know, to see people push themselves to that dark place that you don't want to go to, that's the Open, because that teaches us so much about ourselves.
But this journey in this second competition, I learned quite a lot about myself. I learned quite a lot about the all-in-one community. And I will say, seeing where I was at the start, being sort of, you know, the black sheep to people in that community, accepting me in a sense that, hey, this guy's not here during classes, but we see this guy putting in the work. We see that he's not just, you know, the actor that does all that. That means much more. As well as, you know, that first week, I was sad, I was defeated, I let my teammates down. But within the span of 2 days, I went, you know what, I'm not going to lie down. I'm going to do better, get back up. And then it was all fun, smooth sailing from there.
It doesn't matter if you're a cherry cheetah, a blue badger, a golden goat, and a pink puma, because we all share similar things right on this very floor. We shared sweat, struggle, and strength. And that is simply because we all have one goal in mind. All of us, whether you think about it daily or not, all of us want to better ourselves and want to be the best versions we can be.